In the first book of Samuel, chapter 24, we find the story of David sparing Saul's life when he had the perfect opportunity to kill him. David and his men were hiding in the caves of En-Gedi, and Saul, who was pursuing David, went into the same cave to relieve himself. Unaware of David's presence, Saul was vulnerable to attack. David's men urged him to seize the opportunity to kill Saul, believing it was a gift from God. However, David refused, showing reverence for Saul's anointed status as king and respecting God's appointed authority. Instead, David merely cut off a corner of Saul's robe to prove that he could have killed him, but chose not to. After Saul left the cave, David called out to him, demonstrating his innocence and loyalty. David's act of mercy deeply affected Saul, who recognized David's righteousness and wept, acknowledging that David would indeed become king. Respect for authority. David's respect for Saul's position as king, despite Saul's hostility towards him, teaches us the importance of honoring authority figures in our lives, whether they are leaders in authority, work, or family. Humility. David's humility is evident in his refusal to take matters into his own hands and seek revenge. Instead, he trusted in God's timing and sovereignty. In our daily lives, we should cultivate humility, recognizing that God is ultimately in control, even in difficult situations. Forgiveness. David's willingness to forgive Saul, despite the harm Saul had caused him, demonstrates the power of forgiveness. In our interactions with others, we should strive to forgive those who wrong us, just as David forgave Saul. Forgiveness not only frees us from bitterness and resentment, but also reflects God's mercy and grace. Choosing righteousness. David's decision to spare Saul's life, even when it seemed advantageous to do otherwise, reminds us to choose righteousness over personal gain or revenge. In difficult situations, we should seek to act with integrity and honor God's principles, trusting that He will ultimately bring about justice. Trust in God's timing. David's faith in God's timing is evident throughout this chapter. Despite facing numerous challenges and temptations, he trusted that God would fulfill His promises in His own time. We should trust in God's timing in our lives, even when circumstances seem uncertain or challenging.